SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
Have you been seriously injured? Mama Justice is here for you. Our medical team partners with top-notch doctors, surgeons, therapists, and urologists, ensuring a comprehensive recovery journey. If you've been injured, call Mama Justice today. We're here for you.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar.
It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute.
Hey folks, time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Steve Azar, always grateful for you tuning in from the bottom of my heart and soul. I'm telling you, appreciate my team over at SuperTalk for allowing me to hang out on your radio dial for the last almost into a middle of my 8th year. That's a long time. And I really have enjoyed learning to listen, as I always say. Don't forget, I hope you guys are listening when it comes to catfish. It's superior catfish made over there in Macon, Mississippi. Why would you get it anywhere else? On our great, beautiful land of Mississippi. Go to superiorcatfish.com and visit Mississippi.org. Celebrate so many wonderful things from hunting, fishing, the arts. We are the birthplace of America's music. I can go on and on and on for days. Got a lot of good football and baseball and basketball in this state, etc. Anyway, okay. All right. Today's guest, besides being a dear, dear friend and a former hottie toddy back in the day, was actually on the national championship debate team at Ole Miss. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, how that happens, how you get there. He's the co-founder of Strategic Arts and Sciences, founder of Happy Tiger Consulting, co-author of the wonderful book Slammed, Succeeding in a World of Too Busy and Evolutionaries. I want to chat about his transformational leadership. So remind me, he is a no-nonsense and razor-sharp, holds a doctorate from the University of Oregon in organizational communication with a natural gift for quickly assessing complex problems. I've been there, and I know what you're thinking. I'm about as complex as it gets. Just be nice out there. He consults with clients to develop future-ready strategies to ensure resilience and results. His 30 years of experience make the doctor one of the premier consultants to financial institutions in the United States. Spent some time with him at the Alabama Credit Union on stage. It was a wonderful, wonderful event, and I watched his magic right there in front of me. He is sought after strategic planner, executive coach, and guide for organizational change, management, and media messaging. He and his team, Happy Tiger Consulting, is a resource that connects clients with the deep experience of retired Navy SEAL officers. He is also currently working on a comprehensive program for preparing board members to develop breakthrough board practices. And I put that in quotes. He earns lots of frequent flyer miles, delivering keynote speeches each year to audiences from New York to, I don't even know where this is. I think it's supposed to be Tokyo. He, myself, and the monk guy, Mike Farrell, who's been on my show a bunch of times, are working on a little business retreat as a trio and looking forward to doing that at Pearl River Resort and Dancing Rabbit, the Augusta you can play. You know, I love it over there in the near future. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And he is an avid guitarist, ukulele. He calls it the ukulele. I'm not letting him have that. He loves to cook and scuba dive. He makes his home in Eugene, Oregon with his just really wonderful wife, Patty. So it's good right now to have the power and I'm just excited to get on the couch right now like he's going to be my shrink, Dr. Randy Harrington. What's up, Doc?
What is up with you, man? You're looking good, feeling good?
My eyes are a little bloodshot, but you know what? My team of Super Talk's trying to get me to go visual, but nobody has to see my eyes being bloodshot in the morning. And
well, I will go ahead then and say you look fantastic this morning.
We'll just thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So then you don't have to worry about that whole looking thing. Yeah.
No, right now I don't. But you know what? Looking at you right now without your big old ponytail, it's just interesting to me. You know, Samson did you think about maybe you'd lose all your brain cohesiveness and just that amazing brilliance up there when you cut it?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it was a thing. It was time, my friend. It was time. You know, you have those moments in your life when you go, I can't wear that jacket anymore. That used to look good a few years ago, but it doesn't look good anymore. Well, that was the ponytail. It served me well, but it's on its way. But it's interesting. People still do. They look at me and then they walk around the back and go, "What happened?" My favorite client.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He said, "Oh, you finally grew up." That's what he said.
Wow, that wasn't Steve Swafford, was it?
No. He was all right.
If he's listening, him not being your favorite client right now, that we probably shouldn't let him hear this.
No, we shouldn't let him hear it.
I love it because the first time he told me, he says, "Hey, Steve, have you ever seen Randy on stage? There's not going to be shoes." And I said, "What?" And he goes, No, there's no shoes. And I said, "I love that. Jim McMahon. Play on the golf course, So let me talk about that. Are you comfortable when you get out there with no shoes? What does that free you? Does that put you in a comfort zone? What's that do?
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. I think I think it started because I used to really like wearing cowboy boots. I wore cowboy boots a good bit, and I had a good pair of Ariats that were fantastic. When you put on Ariat cowboy boots, there was just like, oh man, that's felt like a Nike, or something.
Yeah.
It didn't. So I wore those for a long, long time, but I would clomp around on a stage if I was wearing them, and it was just like, that was no good. So I would take them off. But I think the main reason is I did most of my junior high and high school in Hawaii. And when you go to anybody's house in Hawaii, almost always you'll see a big old pile of shoes outside the door or just inside the door, and it's just a courtesy there for respecting the person's home. To take shoes off. And so it's a cultural thing there. And it's so universal that people don't even think about it, but it's just, I think, a sign of respect that sort of got into my heart there. And so when I walk onto a stage, I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm there at the pleasure and request of that audience. And I know you feel the same. It's a sense of, in fact, I was very appreciative this morning. You started this conversation by saying thank you. That was the very first thing you said as you opened up your show, was that you were grateful for the opportunity to have this conversation, and grateful to the people at SuperTalk and the whole thing. I mean, that gratitude teeing up the whole experience is exactly what I feel when I walk onto a stage. It's
wow,
like, thank you.
That's good. Yeah, I get that, man. Every time we're on stage, I feel like I'm a kid again, and to have that feeling, it's almost like not fair. I feel like, because I get to experience that, but I'm also I also understand the importance, and it's I don't take it for granted.
There you go. Well, you don't take relationship for granted, and you're in relationship with that audience, and
sure,
and it's so interesting because I know you, as a very seasoned performer, you can feel one way, but if the audience's energy is there, it can change everything. I mean, it's just, when you walk out there and you're going to go do your song, you're going to do your thing, and you're confident with what you can do. But now the audience is switched on, and they're there, and now it's like, oh man, this dynamic spiral of energy begins, and it's really a marvelous thing. And it's exasperating sometimes when you can feel the potential of that experience and it doesn't quite come together the way you want it to.
That is the most interesting thing, because I talk about this a lot. An audience, even though they're made up of individuals, takes on a personality in itself. And when you've been doing it as long as you and me have done it, you get to pull up the memory bank and go, oh, that's that audience from 7 years ago, which night. I mean, it happens in your mind. You see that audience again. So when you run across something new, I won't run across anything new anymore. It's too late. Meaning, I've seen thousands of crowds, And at this point, I understand what I'm into after into the first song. I understand. And then you do have to sometimes pivot a little bit and go, oh, I've got to be this entertainer today, or I've got to work a little harder for this crowd. So they're a little more reserved, or this group is insane. They're ready to roll, and then obviously that's an easier situation, but sometimes you have to work a little harder and you got to lock down and focus. Let's take a quick break. We haven't talked about anything yet. I think this is a show about nothing like Seinfeld. We just took them out. Randy Harrington, my guest today, co-founder, strategic arts and sciences, founder of Happy Tigers, a co-author of a fabulous book called Slammed, Superior Catfish. If you're going to slam something on your plate, I'm telling you right now, slam a lot of it. And you can blacken it, fry it, broil it. I mean, you can grill it. It's all going to be incredible. It's made here in Mississippi. Go to superiorcatfish.com and visit Mississippi.org. My man knows the arts here. That's how we met. I'm so awesome. He loves my music. We met in Oregon one year at an event, and we become fast friends. That's the beauty of what we do. I'm Steve Azar. We'll be right back.
Listen a second for me to adore you. Hey, 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 real Laura, I've been dying for you. Took forever it seemed to find you. Listen a second for me to adore you. Hey, 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 real Laura. Hey, 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 real Laura. Yeah. Hey, hey, hey.
Think for a
Mississippi.
Dark hair draped across my pillow.
Steve Azar rolling into a Mississippi Minute with a man that spent time on Mississippi soil. Before I get there, I'm in a pond right now. I'm in Superior Catfish Pond. I'm coming out. I'm going through the whole procedure of making it to your plate. Go to store.superiorcatfish.com. It's a beautiful thing produced right here in Mississippi. And we are the birthplace of America's music. I love reminding you, jump on the blues trail, the country trail markers we have, the Freedom Trail, the Riders Trail, and plan a trip in your Mississippi and be proud of it. It's a beautiful thing. It's made up of all of you, and that is the most hospitable place on earth, our Mississippi, I can tell you. All right, Randy Harrington is my guest today. We haven't talked about anything yet because we're dear friends and we're just rolling. He is an amazing consulted folks from GoDaddy, CEOs from some of the biggest companies like them and beyond, and I can go on and on. So before we go there, how do you end up at Ole Miss and on the debating team, by the way?
It was a thing.
You won the national championship, so it's not just a thing.
Well, I will begin with a story of a man who is still a big part of my life. His name is Ty Warren. And he was a visionary coach, and in much the same cut. In fact, a little known fact: Ty had actually been. He'll be upset that I say this, but it's true. He had been an assistant back in the day to the famed plaid-wearing coach, or what is it, herringbone coach of the University of Alabama back in the day.
Yeah, of course, we know who that is.
And
unless Nick Saban has washed that memory away,
exactly.
I don't think Bear Bryant will ever go away.
But Ty came as a coach, and he had a vision of what was possible, and he had an academic background in understood the challenges of that, and he had looked at intercollegiate debate and said, you know what, Mississippi should be fielding a team. And we should not only be on the stage with the big players in the country, but we should not back down and we should seek to dominate. And he was very, very aggressive about that. And we won't go into all of the nuances of that world because it's a crazy world. It's, crazy people doing crazy things, but it's an intensive season. And it takes competitors around the country into very intensive situations where, for example, if you are on a debate program, then you will have a resolution that you will debate for the year. And it might be something like, rare earth resources should be controlled by an international organization. That was one of them back in the day. So it was like, okay, if we only have so much helium in the world, who gets to have the helium? And how does that work? And so you had to go to that debate ready to debate for the resolution, saying, yes, that's what we should do, and against the resolution, saying, no, that's absolutely not what we should do. And frequently when you competed against another team, it was a coin flip to decide whether you were affirmative or negative. So debate was a study in both understanding and building briefs and using evidence, but also being able to think on your feet really quickly and just pivot. But it was a crazy environment, not a lot of sleep, a lot of terrible life habits, eating a lot of donuts and Vans. And I mean, it is not a healthy thing. I will tell you.
Well,
that.
the road is not healthy at all.
Bingo.
I mean, there's impossible. I have tried, but then when you're walking in the airport and you see Popeyes, it's not fair. And then you see Shipley Donuts. What are you going to do? You're going to go there, and then you're going to ask for forgiveness, and you're going to, please don't let this affect my body. And then you're going to do extra crunches. I don't know what you do. All I know is it's not good. I mean,
it's not good.
No, it's not good.
It's not good.
And I'm the one. So back up for a second. I was about to say I'm the one that can give in pretty easy, but my metabolism is high, and I appreciate that. I got that from my mom, along with my hair. So I want to be grateful for her right now.
And I'm still upset about that, by the way.
Okay, so you're a deep thinker, but you have a lot of fun. And I would like to think that I'm sort of in your ballpark, but the difference is I use mine to write songs and all that and everything. But I love to have fun and entertain. And when it's time to put a smile, it's time to put a smile. When it's time to remind people of the hurt that they had, but make them feel good about it in a song, I'm there. I get it all. But you're a unique personality to be able to put it all together and consult some of the most powerful CEOs in the country. So when did all this start? When did you know that you could do this?
Well, first of all, I'm still figuring out how to do this, and whatever this is changing crazy fast. And that's interesting to me. It's like surfing. It's like, okay, I'm going to paddle out for that next big wave, and hope to the dickens that I've got what it takes to survive that wave, because that's often what it feels like when you're working with some of the big companies that are out there. And anyway, so the way it got started, though, for me was I was planning to be an academic, and I had discovered the power of human communication in a master's degree program at Chapel Hill, University of North Carolina. I went there and married my wife back a little more than 40 years ago, and had a very powerful master's degree experience where those professors there really rang my bell. It was an earth shaker of academic intensity. And so much so that when I did go to Oregon to do the PhD was also challenging, to be sure, but I was deeply prepared by that master's program, and it really lit me up. And so I was like, okay, I want to do this. I want to become a professor. That's what I want to do. And then when I finally finished the PhD and started looking at academic jobs, they were not that great, and the pay was lousy, and there weren't that many job openings. This was back in 1992, and it was like, oh my goodness. And at the time, there was a thing called the Resolution Trust Corporation, the RTC, that was in the business of shaking up the savings and loan industry, and which was having its struggles. And so there was this opportunity to do some consulting with the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. And a woman came to me when I was in my PhD program, and she said, hey, there's this thing the FDIC is doing. Would you go do it? And essentially what they wanted was if you were an examiner and you did a terrible job, that bank president might call their congressman and say, this guy was an idiot, and this is a real problem. And so if that person got a quote unquote congressional, then they had to go take a class on how to not be a jerk. and I got to teach that class. And so it was really interesting for me to go from being very theoretical and like, oh, how does all this work, to actually being with people who were in actual hot water over real life issues.
That give you a charge?
Pardon me?
Did you get a charge out of that?
I did. I got a total buzz out of it. And it was like, wow, not only was I able to help this person who came into the classroom feeling like, okay, my career is now over because I've got this big old speeding ticket, and to take that individual and rehabilitate that individual back to their whole business self. But also, I'd like to think that the people who went through that experience with me had better careers forever.
Yeah.
And that was really a buzz because it was like, ooh, this is neat. I feel like I'm actually doing something substantial. And then once I did that once, it was like, okay, this consulting thing is kind of cool. And I was off to the races.
Wow. Randy Harrington, my guest today, co-founder of Strategic Arts and Sciences, also the founder of Happy Tiger. He's had other companies he's sold. We won't go there yet. It probably was hard to let go, but maybe it wasn't hard to let go. Co-author of a fabulous book called Slam. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check out my folks over there in Macon, Mississippi. Right now, they're producing Mississippi homegrown produced catfish. Go to superiorcatfish.com. There's catfish. There's superior catfish. Randy just did the math, and it always adds up to the same thing. And visit Mississippi.org. You know, I'm proud of our home state. As your author of our official state song of Mississippi, that is my most gratifying song I've ever been a part of writing. I want to thank the Lord for giving me the inspiration, and all of you out there all those years. We're going to be right back. I'm Steve Azar.
With the slightest touch is enough to know. Baby, you're my sunshine. Everybody needs a little sunshine. Yeah, you're my sunshine. 'Cause like the dawn, you push it all away.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
From the In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Flying down that levee road, trying to see how fast you go. I got my baby along for the ride. It's forever far as I can see. At least that's what I want to be.
Rolling into a Mississippi Minute. I just wrote. I'm going to rock into this Mississippi Minute. I can't keep up. So many. I got a wonderful guest, but before I get to his name again, Superior Catfish, I got to give my dear friends over there in Macon, Mississippi a big shout out. You can go to the Piggly Wiggly in Louisville and Union. There's the Co-op in Clay County. Many others, Tim's and Macon's where this is produced. Go to superiorcatfish.com and visit Mississippi.org. I've been with these guys for a lot of years. Went from C. Ray to my pal, now to my other pal, Rochelle, and they have run the show so wisely and so beautifully. They have great passion for our state. Go to visit Mississippi.org. Thank you guys for all that you have done and taught me about celebrating the arts and the economy and how they both work big time together and make a difference. All right. Randy Harrington is my guest today, and we are digging deep. Randy, what is transformational leadership?
Yeah. So transformational leadership is what we require right now. And when the world is changing, maybe you've noticed. If you looked out the window at all, you saw things are kind of happening out there. And we can talk about the politics of it, but some of the bigger changes are happening regardless of those politics. And a lot of that has to do with scientific developments and explosions that are going on that are just literally changing what's possible in the world. And so the world is becoming more and more unfamiliar to people. And there's this weird thing that happens when you take something that has been familiar and then you make it unfamiliar. That gets weird. So here you go, Steve. So you and I both know hotel rooms. We have been in some hotel rooms, and it's so weird when you go into a hotel room that is completely different than another hotel room, or maybe in a completely different country. Oh, and that word you were talking about wasn't Tokyo, it was Kyoto. So
I didn't want to go there. I decided I didn't want to go there. But you've been to Tokyo and probably worked.
Yeah. So anyway, but when you go into an unfamiliar room, when you're in an unfamiliar space, it's like you have to stop and you have to go slower and you have to think about things. And if just everything gets even if things are just a little bit different, you have to change and adjust. If you go, like I have a grocery store here in town that I love, and it's interesting. It's called the Market of Choice, where you can go and you can buy all the hippy dippy food. You can go buy all the organic stuff. That'll be on the right side of the aisle. But then all your Captain Crunch is going to be over here on the left side of the aisle, and you can get either one you want. They're not going to judge you when you go through the grocery line.
I'm glad they're not judging me, because you know where I'm heading.
I know where you're headed.
Why are you going to bring up Captain Crunch? I mean, because I live for Captain. I don't have it, but I want it right now. But go ahead. Gosh, dog it.
I know.
Lunch
you
is
and me
going to
too.
be difficult.
But so this is it. I mean, so when they move the store around, though, this is my store, and I go into it, and I'm making a beeline to whatever I'm going to go get the Captain Crunch, and then moving it. It's not there. What the heck? And so then there's this point of exasperation. Then I have to kind of figure things out all over again. Or if they change your website, if they change anything. If you get into a different car, you had a stick shift and now you don't anymore. And so your left foot's flopping around down in the floorboard trying to find a clutch that doesn't exist, right? So we get used to stuff. And when stuff changes, we have frustration. And what transformational leadership is the ability to move an organization through the frustration of coming to grips with the unfamiliar. That's what it is. And unfamiliarity is dynamic. You can't control it. The world is going to continue to change. And so this movement of familiar to unfamiliar is really what leadership ends up being about.
That is really interesting. I don't know. I love it. I get it. And you know what? Even though I know that you're the skipper, as I often say, we're on Gilligan's Island, and I am Gilligan right now. Even Gilligan right now with my hat on and everything. If you can all envision me out there, I got that. I understood that. How about that? I'm not scratching my head. I get it.
So let's go one tiny step further.
Wait a minute. You're pushing me now, though.
When you're in an unfamiliar situation, like, for example, let's say somebody comes from Mississippi and they come down and they're going to come see you perform in one of your wonderful experiences that you're doing for these cruise attendees.
For Viking, yeah.
Yeah, amazing opportunity for
only Viking. I'm exclusive. I had to make sure you know that.
Okay, well, and so these lucky Viking customers come in there and they get to visit with you and be with you. And a lot of what you're doing is you're introducing them to the unfamiliarity of Mississippi. And it's one of the great blessings of my life is having come into Mississippi, not knowing Mississippi, coming into Mississippi as a totally new, holy smokes, I've never, going into Ole Miss and at the time. And I was like, wow, this is, it's a beautiful campus, but it's unlike any other campus in the country in a whole bunch of different ways.
Right.
And so this whole business of introducing Mississippi to these Viking cruise people is taking that unfamiliar world and saying, here, let's make it more familiar. You're making it accessible. And that is a kind of leadership too that's going on. And so what ends up happening, I'm going to just make this up, but I think it's true. The Viking people come in, they sit down, they're all excited. They want to hear you perform. You bring that little bit of a Mississippi accent. You bring that color of your energy to the performance. And all of a sudden they're feeling comfortable. And it will take, I can tell you this is the truth because I've seen it happen. In less than 30 seconds, Steve Azar will take an audience that really doesn't know him that well and turn him into the next best friend they've ever had. And it just doesn't take long. It says, boom, instant friendship relationship. And what does that do? It creates trust. And trust is what it ends up being all about. The currency of winning the future is about who has the trust. Where does the trust go?
Wow.
And so if you take a look at some of the research that's being done on trust right now, there's a great definition of trust that I just love. And if you sort of roll up all these complex academic definitions, and if you Google it, there's a gazillion of them. But I love this one. It is 6 words. A confident relationship with the unknown.
I love
Trust
that.
is a confident relationship with the unknown.
Wow.
Apply that to faith for just a minute.
Sure. Yeah,
Bang.
it's a powerful thing.
Confident relationship with the unknown. So when I trust you as an artist, I'll go where you go at that point. And that's when a band lights up. That's when something magical happens. When there's this agreement between the audience and the artist that says, yeah, I trust you to take me to this place. And you're like, well, I got what you need to go there. And then all of a sudden the band kicks in and the next 2 hours are just somehow indescribable for everybody.
Really, really interesting. We're going to take a quick break, but before I got a second to say this. You nailed it on the head. This show that we're doing it's not just a regular show. It's got history, our culture. It's literally the umbrella, and it wraps around the entire being. Now, I'll play a few of my hits, and I have to, but Waiting on Joe is a Mississippi thing. But with that said, the rest of them are all of these songs that conjure up all these memories. And why I wrote the song in the first place, I've never been able to perform a show where 80% of the music has been about us. It's always been 25 or 30% about us, and then the rest, because I was playing such a mainstream deal, it was just the songs. And there's nothing wrong with just songs, because people are coming there for those songs because they heard them on the radio, they stream them now. In my day, it was radio, when it was really in my heyday. But I get it, but now it's a different thing for me personally. And I love what you just said, because I've never been more honest, and I think honesty and trust and faith go along hand in hand. Randy Harrington is my guest today, co-founder of Strategic Arts and Sciences, founder of Happy Tigers with a bunch of just tough Navy SEALs. The book slammed. Awesome. What else is awesome is Superior Catfish. Go to store.superiorcatfish.com. Tell them I sent you, have it delivered to your door, and you'll be cooking it up that afternoon or that evening. And it's produced right here in Mississippi. You know what else is produced right here in Mississippi? All of you. And all of you are a magnet for tourism, and that's visitmississippi.org. Don't go anywhere. I'm Steve Azar.
Oh, the blues and the truth. In the night I fell for you. You're everything that I've become. All the signs and the times and the memories in my mind. All roads lead back to Highway 61. Yeah, all roads lead back to Highway 61. Highway 61. Highway 61.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
this town where the memories don't lay thick on the ground. No. And I wonder like a ghost haunted by an angel.
Steve Azar, small segment left. Hadn't even gotten to my notes I've got up here to talk to Randy Harrington, my dear friend, amazing consultant for power businesses across the country. Those CEOs, not just the businesses, the big dogs, they turn to him. They've turned to him for 30 years now. And I've gotten to see the magic. Speaking of magic, if you want magical catfish, you dang right, that'll just show up on your plate. Go to superiorcatfish.com, and I'll even maybe come over your house one day and cook it up if you're having any issues in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And my guest today, Randy Harrington, can do it. I've seen it. I've seen him bring the kitchen skills.
I stole a recipe from City Grocery in Oxford, Mississippi.
Ooh, don't get us started.
They made a crab cake kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a crab cake. There was no crab in it. There was catfish in it.
Yeah.
And they used black-eyed peas and cornbread as the stuffing with the catfish, and then they pan-seared it with a remoulade sauce or a comeback sauce on that. And I still make those today for all of my friends here in Oregon.
And you're a hero.
And they're like, "Oh my God, what is this?" And I'm like, "This is Mississippi food right here. This is what you have." And they're like, "What is this fish?" "This is catfish." Now I don't have superior catfish, so I'm using sub-superior catfish that I get out here. But,
good answer on my show. Really, really good on my show. Well, you can get it if you go to store.superiorcatfish.com. Let's dig a little bit more into this trust thing, because we don't have a lot of time yet. Yeah. So what do we trust now? Two things. You said algorithms. Yeah. I'll define this, and familiarity, right? And what does this mean for us as business people, leaders, and parents?
Yeah. So I took about a day of my life, and I went to the Department of Motor Vehicles to get my real ID. Have you done that yet?
Yeah, we're ahead of Oregon. You know that. We had to do this years ago. I'm kidding, but yeah, I've got it. I got the little guy up on the top.
You do. So it's a pretty cool ID. I just got it in the mail. I mean, it has got layers and layers of holograms, and there's all kind of stuff on that ID. And guess what? Of only less than half of Americans that need to get the real ID to travel have done it. And it's going to be due on May 7th.
Yeah, and they're going to try to go on a plane, and they're not going anywhere.
TSA guy is going to say, "I'm sorry, my friend, this does not work. You get a passport will work, but this other thing."
Yeah.
So I went ahead and I did it, and it did take a good bit of time. And I enjoyed the experience because everything that happens in Oregon like that has a little weird Oregon flavor to it, where people try to be overly nice about a difficult experience. There was a guy whose job was to walk around and make sure everybody was feeling okay, and they had the papers they need. And it was like he was like an emotional support person at the DMV. And it was like, and I was really glad to see him. I was like, thank you. I needed that support at that moment, so it was a good thing. But anyway, so I get this idea and I started thinking about it. I was like, holy smokes. So why is this so important? Well, it's so important because your identity is important. And being able to prove that you're you is one of the biggest problems of the 20th and 21st century. And that's going to continue to be a problem until it finally gets resolved, especially as money and everything else gets more and more tied to your identity. I mean, you can't buy a toaster these days without having to put an app on your phone then you have to have a password to get to the toaster app so it'll turn, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
And all of this is around identity. And why is identity important? Identity is important because of trust. Ultimately, it gets there. So when we were out, being young earthlings and just starting our tribal world, and we were coming out of the cave or whatever, we all trusted each other because we lived together and we had community. And we trusted people who looked like us and sounded like us. And if we didn't ever seen you before, we didn't trust you. And there's a lot of that still goes on, right? So then, though, we started having countries and nations and laws and all this stuff. And then we began to put trust into institutions. Okay, so, now I don't just have a shaman or in my village. Now we have a church. And we have priests and we have hierarchy. And so this is the way this works. And so we put trust into institutions, education, government, and so forth. But if you take a look at the news, it's been happening for probably 30 years, you're seeing trust in all of those institutions begin to wane.
Yeah,
You know,
and it's disheartening,
don't trust us.
disappointing,
Yeah.
right? When you see that, because I go, how could you do what you did? It really is. It takes it's a tough deal for a lot of us. Hey, so I got to ask you a big favor. And
Yeah.
you're going to have to say yes, because this I'm not erasing this. Can you do part 2? Because I really want to discuss some things about your book, and I want to go further into AI, because I feel like you've got a grasp of things that I'm a little concerned about, especially in the arts. Can we schedule
Yes.
part 2 so we can go back to back?
Let's do it.
Okay, great. Randy Harrington, my guest today. Check his book out, Slammed. You got to really check it out. We'll have a big announcement between Randy and the Monk Guy and myself at Pearl River Resort and Dance Rabbit, doing a big work
Monk
retreat.
guy, love him.
I know you love him. He loves you. And we're going to do this great work retreat we're excited about. And you guys go to Superior Catfish, and trust me on this. There's catfish. There's Superior Catfish. 2 + 2 will always be 4, and Superior Catfish will always be superior. And visit Mississippi.org, the birthplace of America's music. I'm so grateful to be a part of that fabric, man. I'm telling you. I love you guys. Have a safe day, and we'll see Randy Harrington tomorrow. Later on.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.